Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Mystic Podcast.
Ooh, ooh.
This is 21, and
Really?
you all know me by now. I'm Donnelly92, and I'm
Funny.
joined by.
Strider Zero.
There you go. So,
I'm also Were Tiger X and Pent Sage.
yes, and I'm also iPirate. So,
As well as several others.
and Yu-Gi-Oh Master something, some numbers.
Hey, I just can't. It was the first thing that came to mind. Yu-Gi-Oh was the first thing that came to mind when I was creating my YouTube account.
That was a long time ago too, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was before. At that time, I was still at the point where the only anime I saw was Dragon Ball Z, and at that point I hadn't even seen all of it yet.
Right. I remember you made that video a long
So
time ago about your top 10. I forget. I didn't think you
that
took
was
that down.
yeah. Well, it was because it was like
It got outdated quickly.
it got outdated quickly because I kept watching more. Plus, whatever. It's not really that important. I mean,
Yeah. But anyway, welcome back. Hopefully you guys, if you guys watched your ZenkaiCon bit and came from ZenkaiCon, hopefully you're back for more. So, if not, well,
oh well,
we're just gonna keep moving on.
you're lost.
Yeah. So, I guess we're gonna jump into the other media part of the podcast. As usual, I usually go first. So, been playing some decent stuff lately, I guess. I talked about Dual Destinies, I think, last week a little bit. I finished the game. Game was amazing. It really was. It was probably, well, I would say it wasn't quite, maybe it was quite at the level of the original Phoenix Wrights, but it was up there.
Hmm.
If you guys need to get into that series. The series is awesome. Though I can say if you don't like point and clicks, maybe you won't like it. I don't usually like point and clicks either, but it was just like it's such a good story um, and character driven like plot that really just carries in the center.
Yeah.
I did that. I started Awakening. I haven't played it in a couple days though. I stopped for whatever reason. I'll get back into it eventually. Um,
Hater.
to be honest, the feet thing doesn't really bother me that
Hmm.
much. Um, I don't know. There was a couple things that were just slightly nitpicky for me. I don't know. I stopped it for I don't know why, but I'll get back into it. Um, started replaying Apollo Justice as well.
Hmm.
Um, I blew through that game real quick. What the hell else I've been playing? Playing a lot of shit.
You've you've still been posting up a ton of
That
your
was recorded
swing
in
weight golf videos.
March.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm still surprised you
They're
still
19
have some to
parts,
put out.
so I'm almost done. Yeah, that was all recorded in March. And I've just had them sitting on my desktop waiting to just upload one after another.
Were you like playing
No,
the
it didn't
entire
take me
month of
that long.
March?
I mean, I did
'Cause-
maybe 5 to 7 recording sessions. It didn't take that long. I I
yeah, but you're not posting up like
No, they're
hour and a half
usually
videos
like
either.
40 to
Posting up
yeah,
like
40 minutes is usually the average, I think. 40 to 50.
which then turns those sessions into like
I
what?
think
I
I
think you're
just
up to
released
part like
17
18 or
as of
19 or
today,
something.
Thursday. So, yeah, and then I have like 8.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lot of
But,
parts.
whatever. I mean, it gets views. Gets more views than Sword
Hmm.
of Seals and how the fuck does that happen? How does a fucking
How does
golf
it get
game,
more
as awesome as that game is,
views?
how the fuck does a golf game get more views? Then Fire Emblem? Then fucking Pokemon? Then fucking Final Fantasy X? Ocarina of Time? Guys, I don't understand my demographic anymore. I think you guys have me like
They think that,
you
that
broke me. You've broken me with just this confusing. Oh, but NBA 2K, it's like, should I just play sports games?
all of your sports games. That's what people, unless you because unless you're playing the most recent popular games, the only way
Sports
other way you're
games.
going to get views is sports games, because apparently people don't get enough of watching sports on TV and in movies. They gotta watch it. They gotta play video games of it and watch other people play video
Like my
games
Kuroko in a
of
basket
sports.
video got a decent amount of views. The Kuroko in a basket versus slam dunk video, it got a decent amount of views. But my freaking
Well, that's because you also
oh yeah,
got the added idea of supposedly characters based off
yeah.
one series.
But the
Based,
biggest one was the freaking Dreamcast test. Like
yeah.
the very first one I did, there was no rhyme or reason to it. It was just a test. Even though I was crying laughing in that video too, but it was funny. Anyway, that's it for games, I guess. I play the usual on my PS3, but um, let's see. What else have I been doing? Anime. I started watching Prince of Tennis again because I briefly stopped it to watch Tokyo Ghoul. I have to. I decided not to watch the second season because everyone's telling me read the manga, read the manga. Because it basically they say it's like the Toriko thing, but for Tokyo Ghoul. And so I'm gonna give it a shot because the anime did not impress me at all. It was okay, but I don't get the hype as of the anime. So if the manga's that much better, we'll see. But I started rewatching Prince of Tennis and I'm close to dropping it, like being completely done with it. It's like no,
Before you decide to
like
pick it up again.
for different reasons than Gintama, where I just pick it up and pick it up, drop it, pick it up, drop it. Prince of Tennis pisses me off because of the main character. He's like,
Hmm.
it's like this Erza thing, but the worst thing about it is, you know how like in
There's
a
no special
tournament,
powers.
if you're playing on a team, you only need to win like 3 out of 5 or something. If your team wins the the first
Hmm.
3 games, the last 2 are not necessary and they don't play the games. Well, in this one particular
Hmm.
match, they they had the best matchup saved for last, which was the captain of both teams, and it was the one match I really wanted to see. But instead, the main character seals the
And
deal when he didn't have to. It was the dumbest thing. He got injured and there's all this bullshit. Like he could have lost due to injury. No, he comes back in and he wins. He comes back from behind and wins this game. And I'm like, please. I wanted to see. It was the one thing I wanted to see was that match. I'm like, if we don't see, the only thing that's keeping me from dropping it is the prospect that this captain is gonna play sometime soon. Hopefully, if he doesn't, I'm dropping it immediately, and I'm just gonna pick something else up. What? I have no idea.
pick up
I think I
Gintama
may be
again.
permanently done with Gintama. Well, not I might be done with
For
Gintama
now.
for like a year. I don't know. We'll see.
Eventually, after like
Yeah.
20 years later, you'll
And
finally finish
funny
it.
enough, the new season just started coming out along with the spring releases. Yeah.
More? Isn't it like already over
It's
like
in
almost
400s
500
right now.
episodes or something?
Um, but I picked up. Obviously, you guys know I picked up Shokugeki's anime, and Fate Stay Night came back. Hell yeah! And you guys
Woo.
Much to my not surprise, you guys love the shit out of it because it has like over 30 views at this point. The Fate Stay Night video,
Oh, at
whereas like
the
Shokugeki has
Fate
like
Stay
2
Night.
views. It's like
Of course.
I thought maybe you guys would flock to that, but then King of Lightning reviewed it. I'm like, fuck. Like I thought I had a gimmick here. King of Lightning stole
Nope.
my thunder.
No. Nope. Speaking of which, I forgot to mention this in the reviews, but I would if the past 2 weeks worth of One Piece chapters have been live reaction King of
Hmm.
Lightning live reaction worthy, and he didn't do it. If he doesn't do a live reaction for this chapter,
Hmm.
it would be a wasted
I
opportunity
agree.
for an amazing video.
Let's see.
But anyway, back on track. Yeah, that is our fandom. It has been odd.
This
Our fans are
at
odd.
least ours make a little bit more sense than my own personal one, but like see I knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that people loved Fate Stay Night because the second I started reviewing it, our anime went up like crazy. And then I'm like, and then I just started putting Fate Stay Night as a thumbnail for all the anime ones. And then I posted Fate Stay Night, sure enough,
Yeah.
30 some views, everything else like 2 to 8. So, even Walking
Yeah.
Dead, you guys didn't really care too much about Walking Dead. I mean, the average was 0 to 1, really.
Well,
Meanwhile, Game of Thrones has like 9
wow.
views right now, so
Well,
I did,
but that was only your your
which
pre-season,
I did to
talk.
milk the shit out of it. So if you guys couldn't fucking tell,
Oh,
but there is a lot to talk about,
of
and so
course.
I did. If you guys didn't know, it's there. So go watch it. It's pretty interesting because there's so much to talk about. I don't really go into book spoilers because I'm the, yeah, I spoiled
You don't
myself a
read them?
lot of things purposely, but that's a whole nother animal because we were talking about spoilers earlier. You want to talk about spoilers? These people are the worst because they purposely spoil people just to get a reaction. That is how evil they are.
Oh, I've seen that happen tons of times. In fact, I've seen that more often when it comes to when they're
Hmm.
adapting books to TV shows and movies than anime. Like I remember the, the biggest one was when like the sixth and seventh Harry Potter books were coming out. People were spoiling the heck out of them
Hmm.
just to
I'm
get
sure.
people angry. And spoilers have always been an issue with
Hmm.
games, movies, TV shows, books, everything. You know, one of my favorites is whenever a TV show references people spoiling the Star Wars Episode 5 and the big reveal that Darth
Hmm.
Darth Vader was Luke Skywalker's father. Like that that is spoiling an event, a spoilage that is
Yep.
so famous it's ingrained in pop culture. That people one of people who did that.
So I think honestly that might be about it. In terms of media, I really haven't been consuming much diverse media because
Other than what you normally, because everything else you have so much stuff that you've already covered in your
yeah, I
other
mean I read
in
so
your
much
other
weekly. I
videos.
watch a lot weekly now, especially. I have 4 things plus um, the stuff that I picked up, like Tokyo Ghoul, Prince of Tennis, etc. Um, hmm.
Hmm.
Did I watch a movie? I don't think I did. I mean, I usually don't watch any movies, but
No,
I don't
because you're
know.
so busy with
I
the
used to
other
be a
stuff.
big movie person. I've kind of grown out of it. I don't know. I guess it was a phase.
Hmm.
It's a phase, man.
Phase. Well, I hope,
I'm done. Yeah.
but so. All right. Well, let's see. In terms of video games, um, I've sort of tone down a little bit on the Xenoverse, mainly because I'm trying to steel myself and try and continue writing. You know, I'm slowly but surely getting some more stuff done, but if I let myself fall back into playing Xenoverse again a lot again, then that'll so I've cut down on that to for that purpose, but I'm staying a little. Um, Still playing One Piece Treasure Cruise. In fact, I even was able to find the loophole that allowed me to also download the
Huh.
Japanese version, so I can play it twice as much. Especially since the Japanese version came out much sooner and has a lot more characters and space and areas to do things. Of course, the one character that I got that made no sense whatsoever was Kaya as a fighter. And she doesn't even fight. She just stands there behind, and the guard stands behind her. And then when she goes to attack, the guard
Really?
goes in front of her and shoots a pistol. I'm like, but that's the thing is
Oh yeah.
they can milk the living shit out of it.
Is it a
They
microtransaction
can.
game?
It's one. No, it's like one of those games where like tap. You tap the character to have them attack, and then you know words pop up, and then you got to try
Mm.
and tap it the character again or another character when the words come together, and if you can get it at the right time, it's time. About timing.
Hmm.
Trying
What I
to get
mean by
to do more
microtransaction is
damage.
you have to
You
pay for
know.
this, then you have to pay for this, you have to pay for this, this, and this, and this, and this. There's like everything sectioned into like things you have to pay
Well, no,
for,
it's
like Farmville.
well, no, it's well, no, it's basically what it is. It's pretty
Oh,
much
it's
like
free to
every
play
other
game.
free to
Okay.
play game out there. It's it's a free to play game, and it's just like every other free to play game out there. It's there's this stamina system that forces you to stop playing. You play really and of course the farther in the game you are, the quicker that stamina disappears. Even though you get more of it to play around with, you go through that stamina quickly, and
Okay.
then you gotta wait hours to come back and play again. And of course, if you want to be, advance your team and get better characters and level them up faster, you spend real world
So
cash,
there
just
are
like any other free to play
microtransactions
game.
involved. It's just a
You
free to
know,
play. Yeah. Hmm.
it's just like many other free to play games. That's the trend. That's how they get you. They make a good game that's free to play, but then they annoy you with people who have apparently boatloads of money to blow on free to play games,
Yeah.
because they want to. And then they beat your butt in the game, and then you're like, well, I want to be that good too. Well, oh, sorry, you can't unless you spend your
Yeah.
life savings on it. Especially since a lot of
Mm.
that involves RNG, like spending money to get the rainbow gems, which you can then spend to do rare recruits to try and get rare characters. But RNG could say, oh, you spent $100 to get X amount of gems to get X amount of tries at getting rare characters. Oh, half of them were characters you already had. So it's that RNG, and you know and I have unfortunately haven't got even. And it's funny. It's funny to watch other people try and do, like, because people do videos about them, trying to recruit characters, and it's just funny to watch them
Uh.
fail or succeed. Just as because it's funny. You're like, ha ha ha, your luck sucks. Just like when people laugh at you
Yeah.
and your focus ash.
Remind me never to touch that game ever. No, the
What,
yeah,
Pokemon?
especially not
Oh, One
never
Piece
to
Treasure
buy
Cruise.
anything from them because
Yep.
knowing me, I'll probably get like 100 East Blue Zoros or something. I don't know.
Eh, well, yeah. Well, at least the East Blue Zor the first Zoro you get in the game, eventually you can evolve in his final form, because his final stage is
Hmm,
Ashura Zoro.
cool.
Yeah, because he starts out, just for an example, the Zoro you get in the East Blue, he's Onigiri. He used his attack, special attack is Onigiri, and then you can either evolve him into 108 caliber Phoenix Zoro or
Hmm.
3000 Worlds Zoro, and then from there you have to evolve one of them. Either both of them evolve
Huh.
into Ashura Zoro. They have other, and then of course they do that with a lot of the characters, and then then they'll come out with new versions of them that have
Uh-huh.
different attacks and abilities. Like the other one they came out with Zoro, say for instance, his first form was like
Hmm.
a wolf something or other, and then he evolves into Lion Song
Yep.
Zoro from Alabasta. And for Luffy, his example is you start out the game with him as a little kid, but that's only for the tutorial. By the end of the tutorial, it
Uh-huh.
gives you everything you need to evolve him, and then becomes Gum Gum Pistol Luffy, who then evolves into Gum Gum Bazooka, and then Gear Second Luffy, who uses
Hmm.
Jet Twin Pistols. The second version of him came out was Gum Gum
Huh.
Balloon, which evolves into Gear Third. As just some examples. Of course, some of the more obscure ones. The, one of the more obscure ones I like was is Nami, because the first time you get her, she doesn't really. She's just the normal Nami, and then you can either evolve her into, I forget what the other one is, but the one that everyone
Hmm.
usually evolves her into is the Mirage Tempo from
Enies
from
Lobby.
I think it was, oh yeah, from, no, not that, Mirage Tempo from Alabasta, because that's when
Does
she
she?
starts using Mirage Tempo. Yeah, because remember that's how
Oh
because
yeah.
several times you think she gets skewered. It's not until Enies Lobby
Oh
where
yeah.
she's able to use it to
Right.
create clones of herself. And then the final form is Thunderbolt Tempo, utilizing her Water 7 look,
Hmm.
her like Water 7 Enies
Is it
Lobby
the one
look.
with like the short mini skirt, really short one, and like the
And
brown shirt?
well, no. It's no. The other form, instead of, if you don't do Mirage Tempo, the other one is her Water 7 look. I just forget
Uh huh.
what her attack she uses. But her final form is the Enies
Yeah.
Lobby look with the jean jacket, Thunderbolt Tempo. But her second version form, the final form of her second version is Happiness Punch, where she's just wearing a towel. Uh, so
It's a group text, isn't it?
it's
Yep.
interesting. It was, yes, it is.
I know.
On
It's Water Seven.
well, yeah, but we
I'm
don't know
talking.
which one he's
I'm
talking
telling
about.
you. I told him Water 7 was going to be amazing.
It's oh
I
well,
don't know.
Enies Lobby's even
I,
better.
I don't know. Go ahead.
It's the Anyway. Let's get back on track. But yeah, there's a lot of other there are ridiculous ones like that. Basically, there's some of them make sense, some of them just ridiculous. But anyway, so that it's it's interesting. Another video game I picked up was a free to play. Another free one I downloaded was actually a free one from the Nintendo eShop, was Pokemon Rumble World. Um, I picked it up mainly because you know a while ago we downloaded a free demo of a Wii version of the game, of the Wii game, of the Pokemon Rumble game for the Wii, and it was enjoyable. I mean, the whole concept of Pokemon Rumble is the fact that instead of live Pokemon, it's Pokemon toys, and they don't level up. You got to go through the levels and capture
Hmm.
more Pokemon toys that are stronger, and the stronger you get, the stronger toy Pokemon toys you capture, the stronger ones, the more strong Pokemon toys you can actually catch. Sort of. that makes sense. And I mean, but that's pretty much been it in terms of video games. In terms of anime, um, I spent the week rewatching one of my favorite comedic
Nice.
animes, or on High School Host Club. Always good. And I'm trying to make my first ever attempt at reading the manga from beginning to end, to try, because it's, watching this anime always makes me question my anime ranking list, because out of all the, even though it's not my favorite anime, and I don't think it's in my top 10. However, it's
Is it?
probably the anime I've seen the most, because it's because it's so easy, because it's just so easy to pick up and watch because of how funny it is, and the fact that it's short. It's short, it's
Yeah,
funny,
I've seen it four
entertaining, and it's on
times.
Netflix. So it's super easy to.
Really? Wow.
I've probably seen it like 5 or 6 times, which is more than I can say. The only one I've ever come that's the closest, and it's the closest thing I could say in terms of the amount of times I've seen. Like, I don't usually watch many series from beginning to end more than twice. Like, like I don't think I've actually, other than Oron, I don't think I've seen any other anime more than twice from beginning to end. I've seen Dragon Ball Z from beginning to end twice. I've only seen Inuyasha once through from beginning to end. I've only seen, other ones that were twice were like, you know, um, One Piece I saw, um, technically from beginning to end twice, I guess you could say, but it was which surprisingly within the same year. Like, I started it, watched all the episodes, caught up to Japan, and then like like 2 or 3 months later, I've started from the
Hmm.
beginning again and caught back up to where we were, which is a surprising fact because there are a lot of
Yeah.
episodes.
For me, with
Even
One Piece,
then,
it's kind of weird because I've seen up till Alabasta at least four times. I've seen Skypiea like three times because I
hmm
have the DVDs for it. Um, and I've seen up till the end of Enies Lobby twice, I think. And I've seen certain arcs past that twice. So it's like, it's really weird.
yeah. But speaking of which, season 6, volumes
Nice.
3 and 4 are in the mail, on the way, English dub. Can't wait, because for some reason, the you know I guess this fourth part, the final part of season 6 is has not
Hmm.
yet made its way onto the internet yet, which is both good and bad, because I guess but and for some reason people were saying something about, I don't know if this was true or not, but was
I
Colleen
have no
pregnant
idea.
last year? Because someone was saying something like, "Oh, that one person that is that chick who plays Luffy. She like, did she have her baby yet?" And I'm
It
like,
could
"Wait,
just be
what?
a
When
joke
when
that
was she pregnant?"
she's always yelling as Luffy. I don't know. Contractions.
What does that have to do with being pregnant?
Mm,
I don't know. I guess, but I mean, but
I know.
Luffy was
I don't.
screaming anyway. But well, no, because that was one of the reasons why it took so long. Like, was a factor with why things kept getting pushed back and stuff, and saying, "Oh, maybe now that she's already had the baby, maybe the One Piece will come out faster."
Can you imagine
I'm
being in
like,
that birthing room? Because whenever she yells, she admitted that it always sounds like Luffy, no matter what role she's playing. So in that birthing room, come out.
"Well, that would be funny."
Just like,
She'd be saying, come on, no, birth." Yeah, that would be See, that's one of the things that I would find funny about being like,
mm-hmm.
around voice actors a lot. Like, You know, I mean, we get to only see them, you know, on interviews and you know when we see him at cons and stuff. But just being imagine what it would be
Hmm.
like to be like best friends with them, or if they're someone of the opposite gender, being dating them or married to them, and just seeing them do their you know their like their voices and
Yeah.
their improv skills all the time.
There's always like you could always like move to Texas and then just like casually like hang around and be like, hey, and then
Oh my
don't
god,
pretend
yeah,
like you're
yeah,
a
yeah,
fan.
yeah.
Like you
Oh
have to
yeah,
pretend like you have no idea who the hell they are, and they're like,
you don't
oh,
know who they are,
you do that?
which is a complete and utter lie. Yeah, which is a complete and
Yeah,
utter lie because
you
it would
can't
be
just
hard to.
fanboy over them.
Oh well, according to um, Wikipedia, Colleen had birth. No. Well, according to this, she did have a
Oh,
son,
okay.
birthed a son last year. Because it doesn't say exactly when, but it just says born.
They just
The
like
son
hooked
was
up a
born in
mic.
2014.
Jet Gatling. Well,
Oh wow, that would be if that would have if that really actually works well, then she should get pregnant again
yeah.
when they try and dub the Whitebeard War.
Acid.
Ace!
Yeah, I know.
Well, no, it's got to be in her voice. It's not like the Japanese, because you know she's not gonna be like Isaku. It's not like Sanji where they keep the
Hmm.
coons for certain things. When she's like
I did kind of. It
Ornami-san.
was interesting that they kept that, but yeah.
Yeah. So but anyway, that's pretty much what I did. Yeah, Oron was the only thing I watched anime wise, and like I said, I'm trying to pick up the manga, but my computer was kind of being, you know, wasn't cooperating with me. So like I have to, it would take forever
Hmm.
for each page to load, and like it was a monthly manga, so it's extra long. It's not like
Hmm.
you know 18, 19 pages. So the main reason why I'm starting it from the beginning is through research. I've seen, you know, I was able to see like, you know, what was different from the anime to manga adaptations. Like, for instance, you might not know this, but the
Hmm.
whole the character Eclair in the
Hmm.
is filler,
I know.
and that whole thing, like, just an example, it's
Hmm.
well, you know, but maybe they might not know. You know, that whole thing never, or that event of the
Right.
festival happened, but it went totally different. For one thing, you know, you only see the grandmother for a little bit. She doesn't bring no, you know, waifu to try and, you know, steal him away, you know, and like some other ones were like Kyoya's dad didn't bitch slap him. He just and already knew what, you know, the host club was all about, so it's not like, you know, was angry at him. Kyoya didn't attempt to like steal the company from his father and then throw it back in his face.
Right.
There was no carriage ride, like that was something they concocted because if you notice, if you that scene is meant to like because it's the last episode of the anime, they have her identity of being a woman basically revealed to the general public and kind of have a makeshift scene where you know with Tamaki that basically says, "Oh well, she's pretty much fallen for him now." They did through all that stuff.
Hmm.
Of course, that does eventually happen in the manga, but which is you know so, but I want to see some of the other things that were different because you know, there was plenty of other differences throughout. This, you know, some things that didn't happen at all. You know, typical anime to manga. What the hell? Uh, Typical anime or
Yeah.
manga adapting into anime issues when it comes to filler and canon stuff, and other things when it comes to typical length animes because they don't always cover the whole, you know, the whole manga, which tends to piss me off, especially if it's a good one, especially if it's good, or if it's blatant, like, hey, look, we're in the middle of doing this,
Yeah.
anime's over. I'd be like if friggin' like if it was freaking Naruto and Orochimaru just attacked, or no, like after the whole Chunin exams and Orochimaru's attack, they just ended the anime saying "See you next time." Or freaking DBZ, they after Frieza, or not after Frieza, after Vegeta, they defeat after the battle with Vegeta, they just ended it, saying, "Yeah, this stuff's gonna be taken care. If you want to see what happens next, you gotta read the manga." Like, which which is a smart tactic, because it
Mhm.
gets people to read and buy the manga, but it can get annoying.
Mhm.
It does get
Yeah.
annoying. So, in terms of movies, what was it? What was it? There was only really one I really watched this week. It was what was it? Damn it! I hate it when that happens. I forget. Trying to remember. What was it?
Of course.
So it'll come to me after we're done. I know it. But yeah, pretty much. There was only pretty much one I watched, and now it's gonna kill me for the rest of the day. But anyway, so it was definitely. Oh my god! Now I can't. I'm at a loss of words now because I want to know what it was. Oh, now I remember. An oldie but a goodie. Bubble Boy with Jake Gyllenhaal. One of the very
I
few
thought
roles
his
I
best
like
role
him
was
in.
Prince of Persia. Actually, wasn't that
Yeah,
bad
well, I never
of a
saw it.
video game adapted film.
I just
Actually, wasn't that bad. Mhm.
but unfortunately didn't do good enough to warrant more. But anyway, yeah, yeah, I always thought that was a funny movie. Um, but yeah, I got some writing done, and for those of you fans of the Dragon Soul, we had the fourth arc premiere
Mhm.
on last Sunday. So, am I gonna post another one this
Find
week?
out next time on
Who
Dragon
knows?
Ball Z.
Maybe, maybe not. Yep, maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Who knows? I may. But I'm. We're starting to get business is starting to pick up, and I'm probably gonna be working every Sunday. So I may, if I do start posting regularly, I might switch my day up, maybe like Monday or Tuesday. If I
Uh
can
huh.
start if I start posting regularly, maybe. Who knows? It all depends, because I had a lot of stuff to do this week, as usual, because I was watching Oron, playing games, doing this, that, and the other, and as I was, if you guys
Mhm.
can't tell, this is a basement, and we're preparing to get it renovated, so we've been cleaning it out. So that's kept me pretty busy this week, because you can't just take this stuff. Hey, look, let's throw it in containers, move it into the garage, and then we'll bring it all back in once it's renovated. Nope. We have to go through everything, make sure, say, oh, do we want to keep it or not keep it? 10 minutes later, okay, we're keeping it. Like, it's so, but hopefully, next week, like, I mean, hopefully it just keeps up. I can keep getting some writing done, because I'm sure you guys are anxious to find out what happens next. So, but just as a little teaser, the next chapter's title is The First Anniversary. Let's see you guys
Oh
play around
boy.
with that. See what you might think that is about. Which anniversary? Ah.
Oh boy.
So, the only other thing left to talk about is certain aspects of the Nintendo Direct that happened last week. We didn't get a chance to cover it last week because we spent
Hmm.
so much time in your ears about Zenkai Con. So, the things that interested me the most was, of course, the Smash Brothers information and the Fire Emblem information. Especially since last week, I've seen one of the channels I follow is called Game Explain did an analysis of the trailer and kind of basically gave talked about everything that we learned from this trailer and anything that we've learned from this trailer in relation to the first trailer and what we learned from that one, to try and get us a better idea. Now the Smash Brothers have now Strider, did you
I
see
saw
the
the
Mewtwo
first one.
trailer?
I saw the very first Mewtwo
The
trailer back
Mewtwo
when they
trailer.
first announced him. Beyond that, no.
Oh no. Oh no, no. Then you're gonna have to do a. You're definitely gonna have to watch the video now. I mean, we're not gonna put. Unfortunately, guys, we can't to prevent us from getting anything. We're not going to. Well, I mean, just look at. You can just look it up because your Skype doesn't want to
Uh,
work, right?
no, it's
Still
not
isn't
gonna
gonna
work.
work.
Send it
I
on
tried to.
Mystic, and I'll cut this part out a
So
little bit. So I just got done watching trailer, and Logan goes. That's what he does in Melee when he wins. um, Mewtwo, he has the same
yeah,
moveset as Melee, which is fine. He looks like,
Melee.
I mean, I'm assuming he's gonna be balanced better than Melee, because in Melee he was awful. Um, but
Hmm.
I liked it. I liked how he looked. I thought, he still got his flair, which is nice. He's classy as shit, and
Hmm.
I don't care about Mega Mewtwo. I think he looks horrible, but that aside, let's see what else.
Of course.
Was there anything else in there that I didn't mention? I don't think so.
The other. Well, no, you saw.
Yeah.
Well, no, that you mentioned everything about Mewtwo. Then after that, they followed up with a trailer and announcement that there would be a
Oh yeah.
second
Fuck that.
DLC character in Lucas, which I didn't like because I don't like Lucas. But they finished off with the Smash Brothers. They also talked, the other thing they talked about was more waves of amiibo, but fuck the amiibo at this point. They can't even handle properly putting out the amiibo they've already released. Yet they're trying to get more out, new ones out. Like no, just no. Like literally, like what was it? My little brother, he tried. I think like the day after the direct, he tried to pre-order some at GameStop, and they were already sold out. I'm like, you can't sell out on pre-orders. That's the whole point of
I
pre-ordering,
know.
so you know how much to order.
Unless you're doing consoles, in which case they literally can't. They can't do that. But yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, the
shouldn't be this
amiibos,
hard to
I
make
can
a freaking
understand
amiibo. I mean,
why
come on,
they should be able to
really?
make virtually limitless supply of that shit if they're paying for it, like up front.
And that's and that and of course Nintendo is milking the amiibo train like there's no tomorrow. I mean, they freaking have them. They have not only do they have Smash Bros. Amiibo, but they have amiibo specifically designed for like Mario games. Like they have a specific Mario ones and like Luigi ones and like Toad. But they also got a friggin' they're gonna come out with a new amiibo for Yoshi's Woolly World, where it's a friggin' yarn Yoshi that's an amiibo, and they have friggin' like um Splatoon, like the new game that they're coming out with or came out with, I don't know. Splatoon is gonna have a amiibo, and they're even having a friggin' new. They're having friggin' amiibo cards
Interesting.
for a friggin' new Animal Crossing game, which is like really, like, first they're all hesitant about stuff like this, about having their game, having all this extra things to buy for your games, like toys and accessories and DLC, but now they're milking it like there's no tomorrow. I mean, they also showcased uh, some new DLC for in terms of Smash Brothers DLC. There's some more. You can download some more costumes for your created character, so that way you can have your created
Mm.
character or your Mii character look like Link or
Ooh,
Zero from Mega Man X
right.
or Proto Man
I like where this is going.
from the original Mega Man game, stuff like that. There's also, you can also have your character look like Majora from Majora's Mask, stuff like that. And um, but the most, and then they also have some more Mario Kart DLC too to have friggin' Animal Crossing track and stuff like that. And but they also and but even though they're having more DLC tracks, the interesting thing is, for at least Mario Kart, was that they're for a free up as a part of a free update, they're adding a new level of difficulty to the tracks,
Yeah, that's
200
gonna be
cc for
awesome.
the first
Mostly
time.
because I watched somebody who plays Mario Kart 8, and
And
he's gonna love that shit.
oh, I've actually the same channel Game Explain actually posted a video of a side by side comparison of 150 cc on one track versus 200 cc on the same track, and one lap, like just to complete the first lap alone when they was by themselves, easily took at least the 200 cc finished like a whole like 10-15 seconds faster,
Hmm.
and they did the exact same things. It was just that it's the
Yep.
increased speed is supposed there's increased speed plus when there's AIs, the
Hmm.
AIs are going to be smarter and luckier. So now the most interesting thing in terms of DLC was the final thing they said about Smash Brothers, and that is the Smash Brothers DLC open ballot, where people can actually put in votes directly to Nintendo, you know, and give the reason as to why certain characters
Very
should
good.
become DLC content. Now they haven't. Now obviously some of the now they haven't actually said anything in terms of like okay, how are it's been over a week since since they did this, and like okay, who they're not like talking about, oh well, who are some front runners. They haven't said anything about like, oh, what certain what certain characters
Hmm.
are impossible due to licensing. Like they haven't said anything. They just said here's open season, just vote for whatever characters you want in the game, and that's it. They don't say anything about like don't do these characters from this from don't do from this company or this company because of licensing. Like no, they just said what, we're not going to tell them which characters are impossible. We're just going to let them try and
Yeah,
vote those characters in
they're
and see
following
them fail.
Capcom's um, model. What they did the same thing for Marvel with Marvel 3. They they literally said vote for which
Mhm.
Capcom characters. They didn't do Marvel, obviously. Which Capcom characters you like to see in Ultimate Marvel, since the original had come out, and they actually did take those polls into consideration. Like number one was Strider Hiryu, followed by Mega Man X, who did not make it in. However, number three was Phoenix Wright, who did, and they did say that they did take the polls into consideration.
Yeah, but we're talking on a whole new level. Like people, there was one of the guys I subscribed to made a video about how we should spam the ballads with
They
put
won't do that.
Goku in the
Yeah.
game into Smash Brothers, and I'm like, they will. But I'm just saying, it's like stuff that's even worse because it's like, well, but if it happens, I'd be happy. I'm not going to complain, but stuff like that's not going to happen. Mainly, like, other than the licensing issues, the main reason why, other than the licensing issues, is the fact that Goku is not a video game character. He's
Yeah.
an anime character who appears in video games. There's a difference. Smash Brothers is about video game characters fighting
Hmm.
against each other. So, but So, as to who I would want to see in terms of DLC, the first thing usually the first thing that would probably come to mind is probably be like either another Pokemon
Hector or Ephraim
or
for me.
Hector from Fire Emblem. Some Well, I'm talking about like I would like some from in terms of Fire Emblem characters, pretty much any of the notable like lance or axe wielding characters
Hmm.
because they play differently. I could say, oh, well, bring back Roy or bring back, or put some of these other notable sword characters in. I'm like, no, we don't need any. They're having trouble as it is varietizing
Hmm.
the Fire Emblem sword characters we have now. So it would be, like, oh, people want. I remember going into this one, people were hoping they were going to add Lynn, but she's an assist trophy, and she's a speedy swordsman, so she would end up playing a lot very similarly to Marth, but more like no, I guess no, because Lynn would probably be more like a ninja type. I don't know. For some reason, I feel like she'd
I mean,
fight
she's
more.
a
Her
katana
swordsmanship
user,
would be
so I
more like a
mean, she would
ninja.
use like
Actually,
samurai
now that I think,
techniques. So, I, I guess.
she'd be so it would play it probably differently, but still like we got a lot of sword. We got enough sword people from Fire Emblem.
Yeah,
Let's get some
like
of the other
Ephraim or
representation of the
Hector
other
would be
weapons.
perfect. We get an axe or a lance. Perfect.
Hmm. Or we could also do some
Pent.
magic only users like
Pent.
Pent, or maybe
Or
even
Pent. Or Pent.
one of my
Or
favorite.
Pent.
What? Oh.
Or Pent.
Well, you can't forget. Well, no.
Yeah,
Well, one of
Soren
my
would be
favorite
shit
magic
too.
users, Soren. He'd make a
But we need
great.
someone from
He'd
7.
make a great
Because we
addition.
got somebody from 9. We got somebody from Awakening. We need somebody from Blazing Sword. And that person is Pent. Or Hector.
Well, no, you could get Hector, but you know, well, technically Ike is they're since they're he's technically since they're using his
Hmm.
10, they're technically using his 10 version. So technically this one Ike's from 10. So they could technically, if they wanted to, say put, I don't know, maybe Ike's dad
Alright.
Grail as a
There you go.
representative of 9 as an axe builder, and then give you Pent for a
Gotta
magic
go with
user
Pent.
from
It's gotta
7.
be Pent. It's my number
Gotta go
one right
fast.
there. It's Pent.
Gotta go fast.
I don't know.
Well, yeah. Of course, you got some other top ones that people are looking for,
Knuckles,
like
yeah.
Knuckles
I've been
would lend
saying
himself
Knuckles for
great
years.
to Smash Brothers.
I have.
Yeah, but yeah, like I wouldn't mind seeing Knuckles. Like I said, Pokemon, I would be cool if they had more Pokemon. I mean, maybe some of the more obscure ones, maybe. Preferably not one that has a Mega Evolution, because then they'd automatically make the Mega Evolution its final Smash. Like, maybe even make one of the legendary
Yeah,
Pokemon,
one of the dogs, in my opinion,
a
would be
fighting
great.
character. Dogs would definitely be a challenge, um, but another one that's be another one that's not from any of the series we've mentioned that I've hear a lot of people it could be a
Mm,
front runner
yeah.
is Banjo Kazooie, and they've already pretty much worked out how he would play, because he would play very
Yeah,
similarly to
there's
Duck
a
Hunt and
problem
Dog.
with Banjo Kazooie though. It's because he's Rare Entertainment, which is owned by Microsoft.
Well, from it's a front runner, but but some of the people are saying that the Banjo Kazooie people would be cool with it,
Mm,
but who knows what's gonna happen. I mean, they say they're offering this now, but it could be like a whole nother year before we even
yeah.
see any announcements of new characters. or maybe like a half a year, maybe because unfortunately it's April. It was announced last week, like beginning of April, so it's kind of really hard. Like that means they got maybe a little over 2 months
Hmm.
until E3. There's no way they would have anything ready for like a new character to announce
Yeah,
at
I know.
E3. Like, because I think they said like because Mewtwo is supposed to come out for those people who the people who are getting it for free from Club Nintendo for registering both the 3DS game and the Wii game, the Wii U game. I mean, they are supposed to be
Hmm.
getting it. I think on the 11th. I think. Whereas the rest of us who are going to end up buying it or having to buy it if we want it aren't going to get it until like the end of the month. And then for those of you who are excited for Lucas, he's supposed to I think come out in like May or
Yeah,
June.
for all two of you who are,
So
yeah,
excited for Lucas. But I like the beginning of his trailer where they spent the entire time showing Ness getting his ass kicked. I like he just you see like oh he's getting like you see him facing off against a bunch of people from the new Smash Brothers and he's getting his butt kicked and then
hmm,
Lucas comes to save him because he can't save himself. But um but yeah, like I said, I highly doubt that we're going to be seeing if we see any other like any characters from this ballot being shown off or announced as the next DLC character within the
yeah,
next 6 months, I would be surprised because I mean they might announce an announcement maybe like maybe E3 they might say oh well here are a couple like one or two characters that we're gonna start working on but it's way too soon to have to see any like even screenshots of the
hmm,
the character's design in the game in the next 6 months, unless it's a returning character. Like somehow people stuff the battles with bring back Roy, and then
just
Roy
make
gets
him a freaking
added back
costume
in.
for Marth and just be done with it.
Well, people said they
Exactly,
should have
that's what
done
they
that for
should have done.
Lucina,
But
like half
because
or
I don't even, I still don't understand the rationale behind it. I still don't.
there's tons of another one that people are I hear people are trying to do, which if they make the adjustments that that people want, what I would like, wouldn't mind was a lot of people want to try and get young Link back, but instead of being a clone, have his powers be
Hmm.
based off of the masks from Majora's Mask, and then instead of having the same old tired Final Smash, have his Final Smash be like going into using the
Hmm.
Fierce Deity God mask, which I wouldn't mind because that would be something different because even though Toon Link's
Yeah.
not a complete clone, for the most part he is. You know. But what will come of this ballot? Who knows? What characters we will see? All I can tell you is this. This will just mean because of this, it'll give them the free reins to be coming out with new characters and possibly new stages for several more years to come,
Yeah.
meaning they can wait longer for the next Smash Brothers. Especially since they technically do have to wait until the next system comes out because they only
Hmm.
have one per generation of system. Now, the other thing that notable from the Nintendo Direct was the Fire Emblem stuff. Now there was two. They finally gave, for those of you who have been waiting for the Fire Emblem crossover game, they finally gave you the
Right.
first trailer. And
No,
have
I'm
you
not
seen
too
the
interested in it
crossover trailer
as
yet?
of right now.
I wasn't.
Oh yeah,
No,
I
I
did
mean,
see it actually. Never
from
mind.
what I could tell, it it's it looked okay. I
Hmm.
mean, it's in the style of the other game, and the references to Fire Emblem, at least from what they showed in the trailer,
Hmm.
was very subtle, at least as far as I could tell. Um, So I mean that might be
Uh-huh.
something I want to pick up. Who knows? I'm just looking for you know, and it'd be who knows. But in terms of the new Fire Emblem game, which is at the current moment tentatively titled Fire Emblem If, a new trailer dropped, and
Oh yeah.
boy did we learn so much. Oh my god. For one thing, this week doing some research, I also found out that apparently this the Japanese are going to get it in June, and we're not going to get it until friggin'
That's wow. I didn't
2016.
expect that so quick just for Japanese release. Wow.
Well, that's what it says. It's probably going to come out probably
That's
not too long
wow.
after
They must
E3 in
have been
Japan.
hard at work for a really long time before at least announcing it. Wow.
Well, yeah, but in term, but we're of course because of local instead of working on it side by side with Nintendo of America to get it out closer, at least closer. No, they're gonna wait until it seems like they're waiting until the game's done, release it in Japan, and then hand
Yeah,
it to
that's how they always
Nintendo of
do it with Fire
America
Emblem,
to localize it.
unfortunately.
Which is well, I thought the last one, Awakening, came out
I don't
sooner.
think it was,
It
but
wasn't as big of a
I
gap.
know Radiant Dawn took forever to come out in
I
the
don't know,
US.
whatever.
It was called like Goddess of Dawn for a long time, and then the English version like it took forever, and then finally changed it to Radiant Dawn, which actually I like better, but I don't know.
But yeah, as of now, the trailer didn't use the tentative title of If, so which makes it more
Hmm.
obvious that they're not going to that it's a tentative title. Even because if they're not even using it in the trailers, it's just But especially Ed, we learned a lot in this trailer about the game and the story and everything, and it's turning into an even better game than we even thought. Or at least it's the story is much
Hmm.
more complex than first thought, especially and the fact that they're putting so much emphasis on the choices that you make in the game. And after watching this analysis video of the trailer, I learned even more than I thought because I wasn't
Hmm.
nitpicking and researching everything about the trailers. Like for instance, according to what they said, apparently it looks like you have to pick your
Okay.
side like I think after chapter 6, which is pretty soon. But figuring the fact that the story, the whatever
Yep.
side you pick affects how the rest of the story goes, it makes sense to pick that early. Some of the other things like was we learned more about some of the characters and how it seems like there's going to be parallels on either side. Like certain characters on one side are going to be
Yeah.
similar to the in terms of the same role. Like you have a sister, your biological sister, and then you have your sister that you grew up with, and stuff like that. Also, and this is something that you might not have noticed at first glance, but on closer inspection on the character, the created character,
Oh
the
really?
created character has pointed ears, and you might not notice it, but they found out that the one that apparently the character that you saw transforming into that beast was your created character, and could possibly have ties to what I think this is Nagi from the original Fire Emblem,
Really?
like might be from a descendant. And in fact, if you remember from the first trailer of the dancing girl who was fell into the water and was attacked by some beast, that beast is actually the character because it's the same design as
Oh.
what the character transforms to in this trailer. And in this trailer, you also find out that the dancing girl is going to be involved with you no matter what side you choose, because because apparently you see her in two different outfits. It's like they like flash between two different outfits, and one is in the style of one side, whereas the other one is in the style of the other side. because the one side, the Hashido side, is more like bright colors, whereas the
Gotta keep that
Noir
side
is more
bitch.
like dark colors. So the fact that they emphasize like all of this information is just producing so much, like making this game look so killer at this point, which makes it more disappointing that we have,
Yeah.
as Americans, we have to wait longer. I hate being this connected to the internet and knowing stuff way before I should know it. But anyway, so it was definitely excited, So I guess the next, so since I guess we have to wait till next year to get it, I guess the next game I guess I have to wait
Hell
for is
yeah.
J-Star Victory versus Plus. Look, the North American English localization.
It's gonna be too sick.
I wonder. I want. And it only says it's only so far. It only says summer release. So, is it possible? Are we gonna get a trailer
Hopefully.
soon? Maybe. Maybe. I mean, knowing our luck, we'll probably get one like a week before it comes out. Hey, look, this is happening. Or maybe E3. I mean, I
No, probably
probably
not.
not, because I mean, it doesn't. No. If anything, it'll come out like I said. If anything, it'll come
I
out
kind
like
of
a
thought it
couple
was
weeks
gonna
before it
come
comes
out
out.
like
They'll be
like
like,
as part
hey,
of like the spring anime releases or something. I don't know.
I would have liked that, but it says summer, so we gotta wait and see. Since it could. It's probably smarter. I mean, I don't like the fact that we don't have a definite date, but it's probably smarter that they haven't given an official date yet because they're probably still trying to work on
It's not.
localizing it,
It's
even
not
though
that
they've had
hard
a
if you're not
fucking
even gonna
year to do
English
it.
dub it. All you have to do is fucking
Over a year to do
translate
it.
it and put titles.
Dubbing it. They're just translating all the text
Hmm
and putting English
And like most
subtitles
of
for
it,
all the
you know,
dialogue.
because they're like phrases. It's like you've worked with the material before, obviously. Like there, it's because it's. I'm pretty sure it's being literally translated by Viz. Like Viz of America probably or something like that. They're probably helping them out. I don't know.
Oh, of course, it shouldn't be that hard to translate it. I mean, granted, we don't know when they were given the game to translate, but I'm pretty sure they had it for a decent
Hmm
amount of time before they actually announced that it was coming out.
Yeah.
You know, so the fact that they're not haven't given a date yet tells me that they're still unsure as when they'll get it out. They just know that that's okay. We'll probably get it out about summer. So let's wait until we get closer to finishing it before we say, oh, June,
hmm
oh, July, oh, August. Or if they really stretch it out, oh, well,
Yeah.
technically the beginning of September is
They
summer.
won't do that, but
The bastards. No. But most likely I could probably see August, probably, at this rate. Because it's the fact that they're just like, we're not sure, but summer, it just sounds like it just something about it, because so
hell yeah.
which will be amazing to play. Can't wait. We've had a chance to play it a
Yeah,
little
but
bit.
there's got to be just so much more to it.
Have a chance a little bit to play it, but not enough to really get a feel for. Oh, of course, because we didn't even get enough. We didn't even get the hang of playing
Hmm
even a little bit of that. So
Exactly.
plus there's the story we have known nothing about. I mean, I'm sure we could look it up, but
hmm
it's not as fun as playing it. So so
Yeah.
it'll definitely be interesting when that comes out. But yeah, as in terms of the Nintendo Direct, that's pretty much everything else. Everything we've already talked about, everything that I found interesting. I mean,
Yeah, I
I
didn't
didn't really
watch it,
care for any of
so
the other stuff.
whatever. Yeah.
So I told you what was important. You are my puppet. Ha 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 ha.
Hmm.
Puppet of string. Parasite string.
I don't know.
That always intrigued me. Like, how is it that just by going like this with his hand, he's able to make these people do
Yeah,
all
the
these
fact that he
intricate
could like
moves with their
stop like
bodies?
freaking Diamond Jozu of all, you know, just so simple.
Well, no, it's just the fact that like going like because when you think it's supposed to when he does that, he's like, oh, I'm the puppet master. Well, the puppets move in relation to
Yeah.
the movements of the puppet master's fingers. So it's like, well, how does like going like this make the person do like 15 backflips
I don't
into a
know.
sword slash or something? Like, how does they do that shit? And how does just going like, and how does moving his fingers
Yeah, he just
slightly
moves one
make the
finger
person stop completely?
and that's it.
Such as people, he's like, nope,
I don't know.
like how? So, but anyway, I think that just about does it.
So yeah, I
So,
mean that probably should do it for this week. Hope you guys had a good Easter. If you celebrate it.
hmm if you celebrate, if not, if
I
you celebrated
celebrated
Passover,
both kind
good
of.
for you.
Um, yeah. I mean I had matzo ball soup on
Sort of.
Easter, so yeah.
That's a whole
It's,
nother.
those are both.
Whatever.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother. That's a whole nother monster. And remember, that's
Yeah.
one of the things you're not supposed to talk about with other people.
And
Was it
politics.
religion, politics, and
I
what's the other
thought
one? What's the third
it's
one?
usually just the
I
two.
thought it was three things you're not supposed to ever talk about. Well, since we're nerds, the third thing is ships. You don't talk
Mhm.
when it comes. You don't talk about ships with just no. All right,
All right, so
catch you guys
yeah,
later.
we'll see you guys next week whenever. So
Whenever you act like we're not going to do this at the same time,
well, it depends on
record
when
the
it
same
comes
time
up.
next week.
But as of the time this comes up, you will
Oh,
see our reviews. Because this comes up last, as well as if you haven't seen it now, Magi 261 and Sinbad Naboken 55 and 56, as well as Shingeki no Kyojin. It came out this weekend, so that review should be up as of this
mm-hmm,
recording when it's posted. So yeah, look forward to all that shit, and we'll see you guys next week.
mm-hmm.